In this video I'm going to show you my setup to display image from HP-8924C on external display. The CRT on this test set is old and is already suffering from some burn-in. By using external display I can lower the intensity of the CRT and thus extend its lifespan. So that's one thing. Another benefit of using external display is that it's bigger and easier to read. To make it work, I have here a BNC to VGA cable, the Sony DSC-1024HD scan converter, and obviously the 8924C. The reason why I'm making a video about this setup is because making this test set work with external display is not as easy as one might expect. If you look over here, this BNC is the composite video out. This connection for video is not common anymore. And another hurdle is the video format. There were some CRTs back in the day that would support this video format natively, but I wouldn't hope to find one on eBay anymore. And this is where the Sony scan converter comes in to save the day. Before I proceed, let me show you one of the alternatives. Converter boards like these, which are meant for the old arcade games, they will work, but they do require additional chip to be soldered on the board, and that will allow them to lock onto the signal from the HP. Those boards can fit inside, so if you want to replace the CRT with LCD in the chassis, then you might need to go that route. This Sony scan converter can lock onto the signal without any modifications. Additionally, you get a bunch of configuration options. So let's have a look at the back side of this one. So here's the back panel, and you'll notice right away that it does have the composite video in, and it is a BNC. Curiously enough, though, it doesn't work. So when I first got it, I just connected straight cable from the HP to this video in over here, and it wouldn't lock onto the signal. So after reading around on forums, I found that you can use the VGA port. However, what you need to do, you will only use the two pins, which is the ground pin and the middle top is the ground pin, and the green signal, which is the second from the bottom on the right, this one over here. If you want to wire it up this way, you can do it. I did it just to make sure it works. But for a permanent solution, I decided to get one of those cables. Got it from, well, I overpaid for it, right? I bought it new, and then I found that on eBay you can find HP cables, which are VGA to BNC, for about like $10. Too late for me, but you can still probably grab one of those. The green signal goes to the HP video out, and then you connect the VGA over here. You will use one of those. So what I did is I just used the first one on the left on the video 2, first one on the left on the video 3. Over here, just make sure that those switches are to the left. So here it's set to RGB, over here it's set to normal, and this switch is set to 75 ohms, because if you leave it open, then the image will be too, it will look overexposed, right? it will not be easy to read. So if you set it up to 75 ohms, then it will match it and it will display it properly. On the side of the test set, I'm using the green connector to decompose it out. And on the Sony over here, the signal goes in here. Now, the other one you see is my second HP-824C. That's also connected. And on the far right, you have the VGA out, which is going to this monitor over there on my bench. So let's see how that works. It is a nice, crisp image. Let's change the source over here. So as you can see on the converter itself, I can switch between this test set and the other one by just selecting the other input, and you will see accordingly over here with a push of a button I can select which test set I want to feed the image from. So let's go back to this one and let's go to Spectrum Analyzer. It is set to 48K on the output, which gives the native resolution of 1024 by 768. If you use one of those, make sure that the aperture is activated. That makes a huge difference. 48K gives the best image quality. You might need to go lower to 37 or 31 for this converter to be able to lock onto the video signal. And if it doesn't look pretty at first, don't give up. Make sure the aperture is activated, and then you can use those controls over here to center the image on the screen and make sure that it fits in the width and height. And now I'm going to go one step further with this setup. I want to be able to capture the image on my computer. So I got one of those adapter splitters over here. So it will go into the converter, and on the output, the external screen will be connected to the VGA out. And over here, I'll connect HDMI cable that will go all the way to the computer, and then I will use one of those USB adapters which accepts HDMI on the input, and then you can capture the image on your computer. Okay, so now this goes into the adapter. The HDMI cable, and then plug it back in over here. One of the cool features over here is the test pattern, which you can display on the screen. It has a couple of those, and I'm going to use the grid to align the image. So using the those controls over here for alignment and for scale, I'll try to get it dead center. Use the image control to adjust the clock on the screen itself. I'll just do auto adjustment, why not? Alright. Perfect. Okay, so you reset the position. I'm going to do is adjust it to the width. That's the cool thing about the Sony scan converter. I can actually do that. I don't think other adapters would give me this kind of control. See the spectrum analyzer, fits in perfect. I'm very happy, very satisfied. I can reduce the intensity to the lowest settings to preserve the CRT. While for my work, I'll be using this screen over here. And now that this part is done, let's go to the capture. I'll be using the OBS Studio. So let's fire it up. And over here I'm gonna add a source, which is the video capture device. And we got it. Just like that. That's awesome. Resolution. It's first time I fired up. I don't know how to use it, so I'm glad that it just works. Obviously, I'll be tweaking it to get better image in the end. Just like that, I can capture the image. So, in order to keep this video short and sweet, the goal was to display on the external device. Done. We achieved that and be able to capture it. I'm very happy. So again, might not be a solution that works best for everybody, but it works for me. The image quality is very good. Awesome.